Hello everyone and welcome to Berlin, the capital of Germany. We're pretty much in Central Europe right here for what is round 10 of Ion Formula E Season 6. This is the abandoned airport here. It's called Tempelhof. It's a very interesting track with several layouts here throughout the years, but this is the one we're going with today. Let's have a look at the track then. 10 turns, the start line feeds you straight through to that really curly turn 1. Almost resembles a snail or the start of the Malaysian track in Formula 1. Turn 5 sends you down that stupidly long straight through to turn 6. Turn 8 is a bit of a right kink and the attack mode is found on the outside of turn 9. Turn 10 sets you up for the main straight again, where you can also find the pit entrance. Here is the starting grid then. P24, P23 and P22 did not qualify. So in P21 we have the first of the qualifiers, Critical Noob in the Nissan E-Dams. In P20 we're going to have Kai Kara in the Mercedes-Benz EQ. P19 is Accurist in the Panasonic Jaguar. P18 is Scuppens with Rocket Venturi. P17 is Mirror Chicken in the BMW I Andretti. P16 is the other Jaguar over at Destructively, their new driver. Wasut is in the DS Cheetah in P15. P14 is Lance Droid in the Neo 333. P13 is the first of the Mahindras. P12 is the other of the Mahindras. P11 is the Geox Dragon of Nerdy Gaming. P10 is Lana in the Envision Virgin Racing. P9 is Dancer Hajek in the Audi. P8 is going to be Lolfan Greg in the Tag Heuer Porsche. He's qualified in that position for the last 3 races. P7 is Joxy in BMW I Andretti. P6 is Jean with DS Cheetah. Riley Badge lines up P5 with Envision Virgin Racing. P4 is JQ Mech. P3 is Dakar. P2 is Castronics. And the man who took pole position is Capitan Bo, ending Dakar's streak. Here is the person who is on pole then. This is Capitan Bo, and hopefully if everything works correctly, joining me in the commentary box today will be the Despicable Devil.
Hello, how are you doing today, D-Pod?
I'm doing alright, I'm excited. As you can see, the cameras are a little bit broken right now, so we're only going to really be having onboards, unless they go near the part of the track where the cameras are stuck, which is a bit of a shame. The thingy we used to run the graphics also is deciding not to boot up, so I'm going to see if I can get that running as well. So some technical difficulties all around, but hopefully that won't take away from the excitement of today's race here in Berlin.
Yeah, one exciting race is set up to be as well. Capitan Bo leading off. We know he's got some immense pace. We'll see what he can pull out of the bag and see if the car can keep up with him.
Capitan Bo has ended Dakar's streak of getting pole position. I believe he's got pole position for, like, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 races apart from this one.
Yeah.
And let's see if this will work then. I don't think it will, but we'll find out if it does anyway.
Here we go.
Being told to watch the lights by Faster, the race director. Here they come on board with Dakar for the start of the Berlin ePRIX. All 5 lights are on. And they go out, and we are away here in Berlin. Capitan Bo seems to get a little bit of a slow start. Dakar seems to be catching up to him very quickly. Castronics is challenging for the lead. He seems to have got it already, now diving down into turn 1. Looping through, then they're going to hit the right-hander of turn 2. Capitan Bo seems to have managed to force his way back through into the lead, forming a bit of a gap to Cast. Riley Badge in the Envision Virgin Racing has really caught up in the mix here. Seems to have fallen down a few positions. However, it is quite difficult to tell in the midfield at the moment. This is the really long straight that they're going to be rocketing down as they now hit the hard left-hander. Very tight. You've got to make sure that you pick your braking zone. If not, you will lose a lot of time. And then this left-hander is pretty much flat out. You can see them all feeding through their single file. That was Jogsy just losing it slightly in the BMW. He's going to lose a bit of time through that, but he seems to still be running quite well. You can see the attack mode activation zone on the left there.
Yeah, JQN staying up with the top three, followed with the Care and Capitan as they come around that final corner onto the home straight.
Here is Capitan Bo, then no one in front of him for the time being, although everyone behind him pretty much bunched up right behind him on his diffuser. Currently saying that Dakar is P2 and Cast is P3. Just a little bit of a switch of what was on the grid. Although Dakar actually seems to be challenging for that lead right now. It seems as if he has managed to get ahead of Capitan Bo, who might have even fallen behind Cast. They're neck and neck right now as they head down the main straight at the back of the track. Let's see who ends up on top through this braking zone then. Dakar seems to be into the lead. And he seems to have definitely certified that lead, although Cast is really getting up there. Bit quieter then, off-board. However, the on-boards are definitely interesting to look at. You get a better sense of whereabouts everyone is on track relative to each other. Critical Noob has moved up several positions. He's now moved his way up into P18.
Yeah, we've seen the pace of him before, so he can be very fast as they cross the line now. And the times that they Care still in front, Capitan only 2.7 seconds, 0.27 seconds behind him. Castronics only 1/10 behind him, so it's very close for that top three. And Gene only 3/10 behind Castronics in P3.
Sever has taken the fastest lap for the Mercedes team. That's who we're on board with right now, although he is only running P11. He's trying to climb up from the back of the grid as he did not qualify. Instead, Kai Kara did qualify, but a new rule for this weekend, you can't qualify for another driver. So if you aren't in qualifying, you're sent straight to the back of the grid in championship order. I think championship order. I think. Sever's now managed to make his way up into P10, so he will now get that point for fastest lap if he holds this position, or gets a better position.
Yeah, he moves up to P8 there.
Really blasting through that field, considering where he started. Critical Noob and Scuppens, the two teammates for this weekend, are running side by side, and JQN Rec is the first person today to take the attack mode. He's going to try gain up some positions. He can get good pace. He's currently running P20. If he wants some points, he's going to need at least 10 places taken off of that number.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what happened to him, because on the first few opening laps, he was up with Dakar and Castronics, fighting for those podium positions, so he must have made a mistake somewhere, probably lost some time activating that attack mode as Dakar sets a purple sector 1, fastest sector 1 we've seen so far, and is holding currently the fastest lap.
Nerdy Gaming has managed to make his way up into P3 in the Geox Dragon, saying on the timings he's only 1.3 seconds behind Dakar. This could be a little bit less of an impressive performance from the French driver if he can't pull a gap on the drivers behind. We've seen him win the last few races, although their last few races he also got pole position, which he couldn't do today in Super Pole. I believe he did get pole position in group qualifying, but if you finish in the top 6 in group qualifying, it then goes to Super Pole. So if you can't end up on pole in Super Pole, then you're not ending up on pole on the grid. It seems like the server froze for a second there, but we are back racing again. Let's have a look off-board into turn 1 then. You hold your pretty much full left all the way round until you reach turn 2, and then you flip right quickly. Turn 2 and turn 3, the apexes mean you pretty much take it as one hairpin corner. However, because they are separate corners, then they have separate labels. JQM Rec with his attack mode has managed to take the fastest lap of the race. He set a green sector 1, a purple sector 2, and a purple sector 3.
Oh, and I believe that was either Riley Vaj. Yeah, Riley Vaj, who was in a P5, just clipped the ball there, and that lost him the rear as he spun round. He's going to be dropping round once they come through that sector 2 time zone.
Yeah, he's already down to P11 out of the points, and Dakar, the leader of the race, has taken attack mode, as well as Wasup. He's taken attack mode in the DS Tachita, currently running P9. Yeah, Riley Vaj has lost 10 or 9 positions there, I believe. Scappens has also taken his
Yeah.
attack mode.
Yeah, significant amount of positions he's lost as Nerd Gaming moves up to P2, able to take that from Castronics and Sever. De Care now over half a second away from the cars behind him.
Well, Nerdy Gaming is quickly falling down though. Capitan Bo has fallen all the way down into P7. He started on pole and now he's nearly out of the points. Dakar sets a purple sector 1, but JQN Rec takes that away. I believe JQN Rec is going to go in for another fastest lap here because he's absolutely storming through the field. He's gained 7 positions in the last 3 laps alone, and he's only 6 seconds behind the leader in P13. That's a DS to Cheetah. That's Gene. He's taking attack mode as well. It seems like everyone is starting to take their attack modes on the lap 6, because Cast has also taken his. Riley Vaj has also taken his. And Destructively has also taken their attack mode. Just 27 seconds behind the leader in P21. And as I say that, Tactical Roblox Pepsi, guess what? Also takes their attack mode.
Yeah, JQN crossing the line, unable to take the fastest lap away from De Care. Obviously, currently in P11, he would not get the points for that. As his attack mode now runs up.
Sever is currently the highest position driver to not have attack mode activated. He is being able to hold his position slightly, although he will be starting to be challenged from drivers behind if he does not take it shortly. Dakar's already taken his attack mode, so I'm sure that his team will be able to figure out a good strategy for both drivers. And as I say that, Sever attempts to take attack mode, I believe. Sever attempted to take attack mode, but he didn't hit all of the sensors, meaning that he has not been able to take it, and he will lose time for that. He hasn't been able to activate his attack mode.
That could be crucial for him as Castronic crosses the line, is unable to take away the fastest lap. It is now 3 seconds behind of De Care, the man leading this race so far.
Cast, however, does set a purple sector 2, so if he can keep this pace up through sector 1 and sector 3, then he may be able to take away the fastest lap this lap, as Dakar could not improve in sector 1, but Cast has improved on his personal best in sector 1. So is Gene, so is Wasu. They're the two DS to Cheetahs currently running in P3 and 4. Sever has fallen all the way down to P5, but is still the highest driver without attack mode activated.
Castronic just maintaining that gap to De Care ahead of him, as he reduces it there, in fact, by 3 tenths in that second sector, again staying at purple. So does Gene behind him, who's 4 seconds behind De Care in the lead. Now seeing as Castronic crosses the line, he doesn't improve in the third sector, but he's able to take away the fastest lap from De Care. So he now has the first lap and get the extra championship point.
It will be a question, though, of whether he can hold it from Dakar, because Dakar still has his attack mode. Well, he hasn't anymore. He's just lost his attack mode. So it depends when he goes for it again. He may be able to take that fastest lap away, or any other driver in the field can take the fastest lap. But remember, you only get them extra points if you finish in the top 10. So it's all well and good setting hot laps at the back of the grid. However, if you actually want to score points for it, you need to be in the top 10.
Yeah. Capitan now taking his attack mode all the way down in P8. Obviously, he was our pole sitter for today. 9 seconds behind De Care. We'll see what he can do now.
Lano moving his way up into P5 in the Envision Virgin Racing. He's currently the highest Envision Virgin Racing car out on track at the moment. His teammate Riley Vaj is nearly 10 positions lower, currently 8 positions lower in P13. However, they both do have attack mode activated, as Lano and Masoub seem to be going for a bit of a move down here into turn 1. Who will get out on top for P4? Seems as if as they cross the line, Lano was ahead. However, Masoub is trying to fight back through into turn 3, and turn 4 is coming up here. Seems as if the Envision Virgin Racing got the better of that battle.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Depop, but there's a great battle just faces up between Decay and Castronics for the lead. Out of nowhere, Castronics has pulled some pace out of the bag. He's managed to catch up with the leader, and not only catch up with him, but attempt to take the lead. He's recently just lost his attack mode, so that's not going to aid him as much. But we'll see what he can do against the mighty Decay.
And now heading into turn 8, this is where the attack mode activation zone is. Neither of them are going for it again for a second time. Most likely, they're both going to wait until later in the race. But for the time being, Cast is ahead of Dakar, but just by 0.06 of a second. Dakar is getting very good exits out of these corners, however. As they cross the line again, I wouldn't be surprised if he's into the lead, but it's very close. It's now just 0.08 of a second with Cast behind that going into turn 1, looping all the way round to the left. Cast has a bit of a tighter line. Dakar may be able to get the traction on quicker though.
This will be a decisive battle. Obviously, Panerai slightly backwards. Capitan in P6, now working his way through the grid, only 6 seconds behind the leader. Oh, as I say that, he takes P5, setting a personal best in Sector 1. Castronics slightly edging ahead of Decay, with 1/10 ahead of him. Capitan really making pace now. He's only 4.5 seconds behind the leader, working his way through that grid. Decay as well, only 1/10 behind Castronics. We'll see what the updated is as they cross the line now. And Decay is unable to take the lead.
The gap's actually gotten bigger.
Seconds.
Capitan has made his way up into P3 and has taken attack mode. This battle for the lead is looking very exciting indeed. Dakar lost traction though, out of turn 4. Dakar lost traction. That's going to give Cast a massive boost as they head into Sector 2. When they cross the timings line, we'll be able to see how much that gap has increased. Although at the moment, that is looking at least a 2-second, maybe even a 3-second gap as they now head through turn 8. It's barely a corner, can't really call it this because they take it flat out. Are they going to go for attack mode? That gap is now 1.5 seconds. Dakar has managed to gain up a little bit. However, when he lost traction, that was a massive gap on track.
Yeah, and that's very much tightened the pack just behind those two. Capitan is only 2.4 seconds behind Castronics in P3, and Gene, for that matter, only 4.5 seconds behind. Decay now 0.8 behind Castronics. Slowly reducing weight at that time.
The time is coming down. However, Cast is still in the lead for now. There's Tactical Roblox Pepsi in your shot. He's going to be one of the first people to be lapped, 70 seconds behind the leader. Capitan Bo has managed to gain up some time. However, his position is being very hotly contested right now between pretty much every driver in the top 10. It's a 5.1 seconds between Nerdy Gaming, who's just taken P3, 5.2 for Gene, 5.26 for Seva, and 5.35 for Lanor, and 5.8 for Cappy. So that's 5 drivers contesting for, down to the seconds, the exact same position.
Yeah, it's similar to what we had 2 weekends ago, I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous, like 8
drivers. Oh, Nerdy Gaming just got caught out on the curb a bit there. I'm not sure if that means he'll be able to hold P3 because Seva is literally in his diffuser.
Obviously, Nerdy Gaming got the attack mode, so he should have the benefit over the drivers around him. Seva setting a personal best in Sector 1.
Dante Hajek is the person who currently holds the fastest lap of the race. However, he is in P13. As a reminder for any new viewers joining us, you need to be in the top 10 in order to actually score a point for fastest lap. So at the moment, Dante Hajek won't be getting the point, but what he will be doing is preventing any of his rivals in the top 10 from scoring any points with fastest lap. Cast is absolutely storming ahead of Dakar. Well, in Dakar terms at the moment, he's 2/10 ahead of Dakar. This is the man who's been on pole for the previous 3 or 4 weekends. He's also won the previous 3 or 4 races by an absolute massive margin, bigger than I've ever seen in FE before. However, Cast is the only person who actually seems to be able to be challenging Dakar for this position. He seems to be on the better lines. I'm not sure if Dakar is just taunting with him at this point, because Cast is still in the lead, but barely. However, in Dakar terms, if you are ahead of him, then that's a very good performance, because the two of them, they're nearly 4 seconds ahead of Nerdy Gaming behind them.
In fact, as you say that now, Dakar's just taken the lead back. Oh, beg me pardon. Now Dakar is behind the two, as a great battle is shaping up again between them. Dakar only 0.06 of a second behind Castronics as they come around this final corner. Who was able to get the better exit?
Dakar seems to have gotten a bit more traction, however, as they jostle forwards and backwards through the internet. Dakar is on top, but only by 1/10 of a second.
Seva in P3 pushing forwards now. He's managed to get his way ahead of that pack behind him. He's 2.5 seconds behind the leader, which is currently Dakar.
Seva also has attack mode. I believe he took his just as soon as Nerdy Gaming's ran out, so he's been able to get a good advantage on the cars behind. Critical Noob's also just taken his second attack mode of the race. We're just over halfway through now, 16 laps into a 35 lap race. I believe most people will now start to be taking their second attack modes unless they want to wait until the end of the race. Times around here averaging just over a minute.
Seva now looks to be joining the party that's going on at the front. He's now just over 1 second behind the two. Still goes attack mode instead. 2 personal bests in Sector 1 and Sector 2.
You can see the very different lines on board with Seva between Cast and Dakar. Dakar stays very tight, however, Cast isn't afraid to run out wide. If running out wide means you get more speed, maybe that's a better line to take through turn 1. However, if staying in tight means that you don't have to take as long as a journey through that corner, then maybe that's going to be more beneficial. But at the moment, on board with Seva, it seems as if Dakar's strategy is working a bit better, but then as soon as you get to the next corner, Cast's is looking better.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to tell as the timing board is now saying they're perfectly across the Sector 1 point at the exact same time. Seva really has joined that battle, and he's still got the attack mode, so we'll see if he can do anything about it. Still is half a second between them as Nerd Gaming is able to break away from that pack behind.
And Seva takes the lead. Seva takes the lead of the Berlin ePRIX, gets ahead of his teammate, and also gets ahead of Castronics.
Yeah, we'll see how long he can hold that for, though. When his attack mode runs out, we'll see if he's going to get preyed on by Castronics and Dakar.
They're all currently setting yellow sectors, so nobody's actually improving on their lap times. I believe Daza Hajek may now have a chance to walk away from this ePRIX with the fastest lap of the race. However, he won't walk away with any points currently. He's in P14. Needs to make his way up to P10, which is currently Professor Bloxer. Dakar and Seva are now currently sharing the lead. Cast is only 3/10 behind them. This is shaping up to be a 3-way battle for 25 points.
Each position they game is just going to have a more of an exponential difference in points.
I believe that's the Neo 333 of Lance Droid. He's going to be getting into the mix there slightly. If he gets ahead of them by any chance, or if these three drop back, then they will be able to start to use him or any cars that they encounter up the road for a bit of slipstream. So if they can do that, they may be able to put a big gap on well, we're currently on board with Cast. If you can put a big gap through slipstream on Sever and Dakar, then that might be very beneficial in the championship positions.
Yeah, indeed. And it looks like Mercedes have got a great finishing position. If they're able to hold on to 2 podium positions, that's going to be great championship constructor points for them.
Oh, Cass just got a little bit slidey out of turn 5 there. That's probably not going to be great if he wants to stay ahead of Sever or Dakar. He's still going to be on the podium, though, because it's about 1.2 seconds between P3 and P4 currently. The second sector through here, apart from the hard left-hander right at the end of the back straight. We have had a game freeze. Is the game going to crash? Oh.
Well, there we go.
No, it isn't. Always get a little bit scared every time the game freezes, because we have had a couple game crashes before, most notably in Greece for F1. We also had one in Sanya for FE. Yeah, so I completely lost track of what I was saying, but it's probably something to do with Cast being in P3, but probably nothing to do with Gene making his way up into P2. That's now DS to Cheetah getting in the battle for the lead.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The change right now going on in that podium position is just crazy.
Oh, Gene just lost it out of turn 5 like Cass did last lap. That's going to give them top positions to what looks like Dakar and Cast for the time being. Sever also seems to be ahead of him, but they're all taking completely different lines right now. So it's very difficult to see who's actually ahead of each other. Here is the upcoming attack mode then. Is anyone going to take it? Is anyone going wide? DS Cheetah certainly isn't. I don't believe Sever is either. I think he's already taken his second attack mode anyway, so that's completely irrelevant. 15 laps to go as they cross the line. It'll be 14 laps to go. 20 laps out of 35 currently. That's about to become 21 out of 35. Dakar is being displayed as in the lead, and he's still in the lead now by 0.379 seconds. P3 is currently being shared between Gene and Sever at 0.466, so under half a second for the top 4 drivers here.
Yeah, I was just going to point that all 4 of those drivers in such close proximity. Actually, as I say that now, the top 2 slowly pulling away. Gene and Sever both over 1.2 seconds behind the leader, which is currently Dakar.
Overall, though, the top 20, it's only 60 seconds between them, and the top 16, that's only 30. So the overall timings for this race are looking a lot better than some of the other races we've seen before. We definitely know for a fact that Dakar excels on tight and technical circuits. Now, there are some very tight and technical sections of this track. However, the oddity with Berlin is that it's set on a completely flat, abandoned airport. So there's barely any elevation change, and there's a lot of long, flat-out sections. So that may be the reason why Dakar is starting to fall back in these track conditions.
Yeah, very possible. Castronics now under half a second behind Dakar, followed by Sever, just over 1 second behind, and then Gene 1.5 seconds behind him.
Dante Hajek still holds the fastest lap, however can't improve on P14. Currently around half a second to the car ahead of him. That's Riley Vange in the Envision Virgin Racing. So he's not really improving, but then again, he isn't really failing his team either. He's not falling back, but he isn't going forwards.
Yeah, and interestingly, just casting our eyes back to P7, Capitambo, who was our pole sitter for today, only back in P7, nearly 8 seconds behind the leader of Dakar.
Hang on. Let's just remember how to pronounce his name first. We've had a couple people take attack mode. That's Fenari 6878. They've taken attack mode in P12. Might be able to get up into the points. Currently 6 seconds behind Professor Bloxer in P10. Dante Hajek has also taken the fastest app. Currently 10 seconds behind P10. Be very interesting to see if any of them two drivers will be able to skim down on some lap times with that extra... I always forget because they changed it for the last season. It's 25 or 35 kilowatt hours of power. And that's also in P22. Mirror Chicken taking attack mode. And I believe Finale may have actually been able to gain a position up into P11.
Castronics is right on the rear diffuser of Dakar now. Oh, well, he was, but now half a second behind as they come into the, or begin to come into the final corner of the circuit.
This battle for the lead is very tight. It can go, at the moment, either of 4 ways for the 25 points. Dakar, Cast, Sever or Jean can all get the win today. It just depends pretty much on who has the best pace on the final lap. There's 2 seconds separating the top 4. That's 0. On average, 0.5 seconds per car. Interestingly enough, Dance has attack mode. However, he's not being able to actually improve on his current sector times. He's setting yellow sectors. Benali has been able to set a green sector 1, although the remaining sectors are still yellow. So, interesting to have more power. However, they're not actually managing to gain any time. However, Dance has actually gained a position, making his way up into P13.
That's a reasonably large gap between the top 4. Nerd Gaming 8 seconds behind Gene in P4.
Top 4 are really standout performances in this race, especially from Gene, because they just fell right back at the start, and he's managed to climb his way all the way back up into the top 4, and he does have the possibility of winning today's race. He has the slipstream of Destructively in the Panasonic Jaguar Racing. He's a back marker. He's not in this battle, although his slipstream will be helping the drivers. So, the person in his slipstream currently is Gene. Capitan Bo's managed to make his way up to P5. Lanop has taken the attack mode.
Capitan up to P5. That's his best position he's had so far, other than when he was on pole position from the start. He's 9 seconds behind the leader of Dakar currently, the leader of the race. As he goes to take his attack mode, and he does so. So that's going to be the final attack mode. He's going to have 4 minutes of that extra power, so we'll see what he can do and see if he can try to catch up to that pack of 4 at the front of this race.
Nerdy Gaming, Capitan Bo, Lol Fungrab, Professor Bloxer, they are all pretty much separated by the same margins that the top 4 are, except they're in the bottom 4 of the top 10, which aren't scoring as many positions. So, if one of them just makes their way up into the top 4, then maybe we could have a 5-way battle.
That would make things interesting, if they're not already.
Well, they're already very interesting. Dakar is really not being able to pull away like he has done in the previous races. They're all having to really fight properly hard for these positions. It's because of the vision lag, it's pretty much impossible to tell which positions people are in at the moment in the top 4 until they cross the timings line. So, as they now head into the final corner, the gap seems to be very small. However, we will get very accurate readings on that in a second. At the Sector 2 timings line, that was 0.237 for Cast, 0.337 for Sever, and that time has reduced for Cast and reduced barely for Sever. Cast is now 0.179 seconds away from Dakar. Sever is about double that at 0.333.
Yeah, it seems to be, unfortunately, Gene slowly falling away from those top 3. He's still got quite a buffer to the cars behind him in P5, but yeah, he's slowly dropping back.
Now 2 seconds behind Dakar. Was in the lead at one point. However, the lead has changed time and time again, so don't count him out just yet until he's at least, well, in Lano's case, 8 seconds behind the leader.
There he does reduce the gap significantly to 1.5 seconds. It's a massive reduction. As Sever makes his way up to P2 now. He's activated his attack mode, obviously, and he's 900ths behind Dakar.
95 thousandth of a second between the top two Mercedes. He has fallen back to P3 now. Cast has managed to make his way up into P2. However, Dakar retains his lead, but how long will that be for? Because it is still hotly contested on lap 28 of 35. 7 laps to go. Less than 7 laps to go now. I'm still not going to be able to call who's going to win this race until probably the last corner.
Yeah, definitely.
The second wave for attack modes are now coming through. We have 6 drivers currently in the top 21 with attack modes. P22 and P23, Tactical Robots, Pepsi and Mirror Chicken, they've pulled into the pits. I believe they would have run out of energy, or not, or predicted to not have enough energy to run to the end, so they are the current DNFs from this race. Dakar hit the wall, or was that Sever? I can't tell anymore.
That was Sever.
So that's going to give Dakar the lead. Cast is going to be able to maybe get ahead of him, or at least cut down the time margin between the Porsche and the Mercedes. And Sever is now just 300ths behind Dakar. Cast 6.8 tenths.
Things getting very tight as the two Mercedes are battling it out for the lead. 6 laps to go here.
One of them has attack mode, that's Sever, and the other one doesn't, that's Dakar. 2 tenths between Sever and Dakar, and Sever takes the lead. 7 tenths between Sever and Cast in P3. Nearly 3 seconds now for Gene to the lead. He's definitely falling back. Probably not what the DS Cheetah team will want. However, P4 is still a nice chunk of points to bring home for a team.
It is indeed.
Dakar not taking the attack mode just yet. I expect he will in the final remaining laps. I'd expect it, if he wants to run with attack mode to the end, I'd expect it around lap 31 or lap 32. So I believe it will be coming up in the next couple of laps or so.
Until then, it's going to be what can Sever do to maximise his chance of winning this race by increasing the gap now, so that when Dakar does activate it, inevitably he's got the best chance possible.
Yeah, the timing screen currently saying a 1 second gap, a 1.2 second gap between Sever and Dakar, a 1.8 second gap for Cast to Sever. Sever is improving personally in his Sector 1. He is really starting to pull away from the rest of the pack here. However, Dakar still has an available attack mode, and we've seen his impressive performances before in Formula E and Formula 1. So that'll be very interesting to see. Once Dakar has that extra energy, is he taking it this lap? No, he isn't. He must be taking it in the next lap, or even lap 32 perhaps. Professor Bloxer has taken attack mode.
Ahead.
Dance now making his way up into P10. Dance is now going to get that point for fastest lap if he holds that position. That's going to be 2 points for the Audi team. And then adding on the points that Capitan Bo will get for finishing P5. He did start on pole position. However, he's now sharing P5 with Professor Bloxer at an equal 13.2 seconds to the leader. Dakar is now 2 seconds behind Sever, 2.1 seconds behind Sever. Cast now nearly 3 seconds behind Sever. Gene has fallen to 8 seconds behind the leader.
Sever really pushing. He's saying a personal best in Sector 1.
And he doesn't even have attack mode activated anymore.
Yeah, it's almost he's doing better without it activated.
Dakar, is he going to take attack mode this lap? No, Dakar is still not taking his second attack mode. Are we going to wait till lap 32 then? Because the driver behind him, Cast, just has. Cast has attack mode. Dakar doesn't. Does Dakar really think that, or does his team really think that waiting until lap 32 is better? Because if you want to take attack mode to the finish line, well, 3 minutes 43 seconds left on the clock for Cast. Is that going to take him to the end of the race with attack mode, or is waiting till taking it on lap 32 better for Dakar? We'll just have to find out in under 4 laps time. This is getting very, very spicy. I'm looking forward to the podium.
Yeah, Castronics setting a personal best in Sector 1, so he's really pushing right on the rear diffuser of Dakar.
1.5 seconds between the two Mercedes now. They are battling for the lead. Cast is improving. Cast, that's crucial. Cast is improving, but is it enough to get ahead of Dakar? Exactly 2 seconds at the last timing line. That's Dakar up ahead. Is he going wide? Is he taking attack mode? Yes, he is. Dakar has taken attack mode. Cast has set a purple sector 2, and he is now just 1.07 seconds behind the leader. Dakar is 1.275. This is the main straight. They're now battling it down towards the start-finish line. Starting lap 33. Cast is going to be the person starting it, equaling Sever for the lead right now. 1.1 seconds to P3 with Dakar. I'm getting very excited if you can't tell.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? This is going to be a great shape-up for the final as Castronics now has the first lap, take that away from Tankazek. He wouldn't have got it anyway because he's in P12. And has Sever done enough? He's only 6 tenths behind the leader, but has he done enough to hold on to that P2? Or will Dakar come along and swoop him from that position in these last few laps?
Dakar has improved. He set up green sector 1, so has Cast. As they now head through turn 7, which is barely a corner. Turn 8, again, barely a corner. This is just all flat out here. Now, here's the hairpin. You need a good exit out of here, because if not, you're really going to suffer through this very long left-hander down to the final corner of turn 10. Cast is still in the lead, just by 6 tenths though. Dakar's improving in his sector 2. He just set a purple sector 2. Cast holds the fastest lap for now, but Dakar takes that away from him. Just 3 tenths now on the 2 more laps to go. So on the penultimate lap of the race, Sever 1.3 seconds behind the leader. Dakar 0.3 seconds behind the leader. Dakar setting a purple sector 2 and purple sector 3 on that last lap. Cast couldn't improve in those sectors. So does this mean that Dakar will start to be reading in that Porsche? I don't know, but it looks like it is. And they're not improving anymore either. They both have attack mode, but they both didn't improve in sector 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a fair ground now, so it's going to be down to pure driver skill. Less than 2 laps remaining for Dakar to do something if he does want to, although Castronics only has 47 seconds of his attack mode remaining compared to Dakar, who's got 1 minute 50 seconds. It's likely Castronics is going to run out too early, and will that aid to Dakar so he can finish across the finish line with the attack mode?
Talking about aiding Dakar, he just set a purple sector 2, and he's now just 1.5 tenths behind Cast. I believe this is going to come down to the last lap, which we are now starting. Dakar and Cast are sharing the lead. Cast can't improve anymore. Can Dakar? He set a purple sector 2, but the rest of his sectors he couldn't improve on. As we now head down into turns 2 and 3, it looks like Cast is in the lead, but barely. This is a last lap battle for 25 points. The point difference between these two positions is 7, and if Dakar holds his fastest lap, that points difference is getting even bigger, because Cast has just lost his attack mode. Dakar currently has a lot more power than Cast does.
It is absolutely, as Project User says in chat, all or nothing here. Each driver has got to send everything they've got to take those extra 7 points, which could be crucial in the championship for either.
Dakar is now in the lead by nearly half a second. Has Cast lost it in the final sector? Because as they come up to the last corner, this is turn 10. Who's ahead? I can see when Dakar falls back slightly, Cast just nabs ahead. But I believe Dakar has done it. He's in front of Cast as he comes to cross the line. Dakar has won the Berlin ePRIX by nearly a full second. Cast lost half a second in the final sector alone. Sever has got the third place position. That's the other Mercedes. It's a Mercedes 1-3 with Cast splitting them in P2. There's 0.933 seconds to Cast, 3.758 seconds to Sever, and 19.8 seconds to Gene. Remember, he was leading the race at one point just 10 laps ago.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous there. I'm not sure how exactly Dakar was able to make practically a second on Castronics in those basically last corner and straight. Interestingly, Lil Fungreg was able to make his way up to P5. Great performance from him.
And from Dakar there, I believe that now means in the championship, no team can get ahead of Mercedes. So, I think they might be the team's champions then. Well done, Mercedes. Congratulations. Dakar also gets the fastest lap for that race. They're now going to make their way round to Parc Fermé. So that's 26 points from the race alone for Dakar. He'll also get some points for being on pole in group qualifying. But as he wasn't on pole in Super Pole, he won't get them 3 extra points. The person who will be getting them 3 extra points is Capitan Bo, who finished P9. So he's only going to be walking away with 5 points this weekend. However, that was a very impressive lap he did put in Super Pole.
And what a great race that turned out to be.
I will be honest, I lost my breath a bit at the end there, but that's fine because that was a very exciting race indeed. Honestly, I was gasping for breath there. I don't know what I was speaking on, to be honest, because I needed to breathe about a minute ago, but somehow I just kept going. Don't know how though. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how. I think I must just have some sort of superhuman lungs then or something, because
That must be it.
As they went into turn 1 on the last lap, I just didn't have any more breath left, but I had to keep talking because I can't go silent in a battle like that. Okay then, let's have a look at the podium. All the drivers are lined up in Parc Fermé, the best they can. Some of the podium boards are blocked off by the pit exit there. Dakar, Sever and Cast, they'll all be making their way up to into the race control building, making their way up to the podium door, and then the race director will let them through. And there'll also be a representative from Mercedes, the winning team.
Drivers currently in the cool-down ring, as they're making their way over to get ready for the podium celebrations. I'm not sure if you can see on the screen there, just to the side of the podium, drivers waiting.
You can see it, just see Dakar's head popping around the corner. Here we go then, here is the podium celebrations. This is Dakar. He only started in P3, although he finished the race after a very tough battle between Cast, Sever, and in the final parts there slightly Gene. They all battled it out. Here's Sever then, third for the Mercedes team. Here comes out Cast. P2 for Porsche. Last but not least, here is the French driver himself, the reserve champion. Well, he could be champion. That's Dakar. And Fexelan is the team representative for Mercedes, also being joined on the podium by Kai Kara. So then, the top 2 positions in the championship, they're only separated by 3 points now. Cast is leading the championship by 3 points. He has 139. Dakar has 136. So it's all good. It's all or nothing as we head into Cannes next week. It's the final round of the championship. Pretty much whoever finishes ahead between Dakar and Cast will end up being the Formula E champion. That's very exciting indeed. Now, if that race is going to have a battle for the lead, anything like this, and it actually means for the championship, then I'd recommend you definitely tune in. You can do that by joining the Discord server for both the main Ion server and the Formula E server. You can find them in the description down below. You can also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next stream or highlights reel. You can also play our games. They should also be linked in the description. The Ion Formula Racing game and the Ion Electric Vehicle game. As the rose water is sprayed over the podium and in Parc Ferme, then that's going to do it from us today here at the Ion Media team. Thank you very much for tuning in. From me, from Despicable Devil. Hopefully we'll see you next race. Everyone's just been launched into space. We'll see you next time, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.